The Deed. Yeah, I've already played it, but we'll go through this and I'll have chat make every single choice. I'm not making a single choice. The whole purpose of this, well, we'll get into it. I think the game tells us about it, so yeah. Pilgrim Adventures. Play the intro, yes. F1 game options, F12 resets, Alt enter full screen, escape, access menu and inventory.
Time to read the choices.
Scotland, November 1945. My name is Aaron Bruce, son of Malcolm Bruce and rightful heir to Dunshile House. I've recently discovered that my tyrant of a father intends to disinherit me in favor of my deranged younger sister. My relationship with my family is strained, to say the least. I've decided that the time has come for my sister to be removed from this ghastly equation. I intend to put her out of her misery. Okay, I'm gonna say it right now, I don't mind these models. I really don't. I feel they don't really work in RPG Maker, but I don't really mind them. And they work for this game, because it's all story-based. There's no actual combat. I know you don't. Unfortunately, my sister never leaves the confines of Dunshile House, which makes the matter more complicated. I've not visited the family home in quite some time. I can't bear to be in that hellhole for long. Yeah, so you're scared about those models. You're playing with Barbies. Kia! However, my presence on the night of my father's 50th birthday will cause no suspicion. I must choose the timing and method of the deed very carefully. Tonight is the night. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. So, he's basically going to kill his sister to ensure that he inherits Dunshile House. It's him, Kendall. And our purpose is to make sure we do it and get away with it. Bloody hell, George. Who's been responsible for maintaining the gardens? Used to be Miss Big Jack Willis, sir. He's been dead almost a year now. I do a little here and there. Can't do much on the account of my bad back, though. My sister hasn't offered to help you, then? Miss Jennifer isn't really the outdoor type, sir. Get away with it. I know, George. It was a joke. Very funny, sir. Let's go inside before the ocean comes to Dunshile. This game upsets me, Roxy. Homecoming. Converse with your relatives and search the house for useful objects. Objects are divided into two categories, items of evidence and weapons. You will only be allowed to pick up 2 objects from around the house before dinner commences, so choose wisely. Don't. After dinner, you will have the chance to plant an item of evidence, if you wish, and then commit the murder. There are many ways to do the deed, but only the cunning will succeed. Good evening, Mr. Aran. May I take your coat? Of course. I'd rather keep my coat, or only if I can take your dress. We got 3 choices, folks. She's the, like the housemaid. So...
There are many ways to do the deed, but only the cunning will succeed. Take her dress, boy.
Succeed? Succeed? No! Why did I say that? Thank you for the bit, Dom. I appreciate that. So the majority so far is looking like we're gonna start being Randy right off the bat. I will warn you, it doesn't end how you think it would. Be normal, don't act sus, Roxy. Okay, so 1 for keep the coat and most for take the dress. Since this is a complete stream, you guys do it, then fine. Okay, here we go. That's not the that's not the sister. Certainly, my dear, but only if I can take your dress.
dress.
Thank you for the bit, Speechy. Appreciate that. Mr. Aaron, that's no way to talk to a lady. Mr. Aaron was just making a little joke, George. It's fine. But he can't talk to... It's fine, George. Please, let me take your coat. You're new, aren't you? Sophia is my name. I recognize you from the pictures, Mr. Aaron. Or Aaron. Aaron. George is the, like, the all-around, like, the house guy. I don't know, like, butler, I guess, is the closest thing. I don't know the exact term, but butler, and she's the maid. No, because he also does grounds work, chauffeur work, not just cleaning up. Like, keeps up the house, like a handyman, but a live-in handyman. I'm not exactly new. I've been employed by the family for almost a year. It's just that you've never visited before. I've been busy, okay? No, offended. What are you trying to say? So, okay. Head butler. My work keeps me very busy, unfortunately. I understand. I've been away from my family a lot since I started this job. You're here now, and I'm sure you're eager to meet with the others. Your father's in the library on your left, and your mother's in the parlor, which is on your right. Your sister is upstairs in her room, I think. Thank you. And where can I find you, my pretty? And I know my way around my own damn house. Be as sus and annoying as possible, Roxy.
Another has risen to join the flock.
Dom, thank you so much for that gift sub to KV. 4 gift subs now. That's amazing, and you've given them all on the same stream. You're awesome. Thank you very much for that generosity. Appreciate it. Okay, so far there's a vote for 1. Vote for 2.
Another has risen to join the flock.
Oh, there we go. Dom Light has given my entire sub goal in 1 stream. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you. Okay, that's 2 for 2. Let's be a man whore. Oh my god. So we don't want to get away with murder. Good to know. Sweet, no more ads. Many thanks. KV. Yeah, thank you so much, Dom. I really appreciate that. It had no condoms, you all. Kia. Alright, 3 for... Okay, let's do it. And what if I want to join you for some pleasant company? Oh, I'll be in the kitchen preparing dinner. I'll sound the bell when dinner is served. Okay. Now we are...
Feels good. He have some bits. Chi one, chi one, chi one, chi one.
Thank you very much, Dom. I appreciate those 20 bits. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's show dominance. Oh my god. Okay, I've got a number of saves here, so we'll just start this one on save 9. And we're going to save over save 9, so there's no going back. We're going to live with our choices, everyone. You recall this old grandfather clock very well from your childhood. You used to believe that it ever stopped ticking, time itself might stop moving. Okay, so mother is down here. Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Now stick out like a sore thumb.
Everyone. This democracy sucks. Thank you very much for those bits, BG. I appreciate it. The most beloved of all your mother's possessions, her rusty old gramophone, used to play all her favorite records. You glance over your shoulder to make sure your mother isn't looking. The red book on the desk says diary on the front. Ooh. See, now remember, we can only take 2 different pieces of evidence. Like, we could take 1 item to implicate someone, and we could take 1 murder weapon. So keep that in mind. Leave the diary where it is for now. Well, we're going to leave it for now, so because that's one of the key items. I see you made it, Aaron. Forgive me if I don't stand. Your mere presence has almost given me a heart attack. Hello, Mother. Please sit down if you want to talk properly, Aaron. I don't want to crane my neck looking up at you. I can hear those lyrics. So, Aaron, you finally managed to make it up here for a visit. Please tell me you aren't just here to cause trouble. Your mom looked young as fuck, but she has gray hair. She knows how to moisturize. I'm here to make amends. Trouble is all you deserve, and whatever do you mean? Okay, alright. Awfully young looking. She had us young. You can't use it as a murder weapon, Roxy. Yeah, that's 2 for 1. Alright. No, Mother. I'm not here to cause trouble. Quite the opposite. Oh? Just as an infant! Our family has been dysfunctional for a long time, and I have to take some responsibility for that. For what it's worth, I apologize for any stress that my behavior has caused you over the years. I see. You forgive me if I'm a little skeptical about the sudden change in your attitude, Aaron. However, if we can get through today without any drama, then I would appreciate it. Have you been up to see your sister yet? She's been going through an unusually difficult time recently. Will she be okay? Christ, what's wrong with her this time? And I'd rather not talk about her. Okay. See, Kia's trying to commit a murder. I like that. 2 for 1, 1 for 3, 3 for 1. Okay. Oh, probably not, Cloud. And I don't care if it is, honestly. I'll just get dinged on and it'll be fine. Okay, a lot more 1s. Okay. Will she be okay? You sound worried. Do you think it's serious? I've not seen her this bad in a long time. Do you remember that summer when she... with the razor in the bathroom? Yes, I remember. That's the last time I remember seeing her like this. So yes, to answer your question, I am worried. Anyway, you should go and talk to your father if you haven't already. Wish him a happy birthday. Oh, and at least try to sound like you mean it. Okay. Okay, that's Dad. Okay, let's save our game. None of these books interest you. An assortment of family records and heirlooms are contained within this ornate glass cabinet. Oh, flashback. I don't know.
Of course you do. Use that head for once, boy.
Great Uncle Thomas?
What initials do you see on that silverware?
CB?
And what kind of hatwit spells Thomas with a C?
I don't know.
Well, I do. It's the kind of halfwit that's standing next to me. Now, which of your ancestors owned that silver chalice? If you get this one wrong, there'll be serious consequences, boy.
It's the Mexico filter. Mexico. I'll say one thing for Father. His style of parenting has always been consistent. There's nothing on this old lectern. You manage to force open the locked drawer of the writing desk. Inside you find pages of poetry, penned in your sister's handwriting. They seem to be love letters penned to an unidentified female. From the descriptions, you would guess it's the new maid. Interesting. So we have a diary and poems, lesbian poems. Okay, we'll leave those alone for now. She gay and depressed. This old stone fireplace has nothing of interest to you, okay? Kia. Even now, the familiar, musty smell of your father's library fills you with dread as you step inside. You have too many bad memories of this room. These shelves are labeled Arts and Culture. When your father isn't looking, you quietly open the top drawer of the desk and take a look inside. It seems to be filled with his memorabilia. One of the items sends a shiver through your bones. The cruel Levertaz. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Your father used to beat you with when you were a child. Perhaps if you planted it in the right place, it might raise questions, so let's leave it where it is for now. Your father's best friend, a hunting dog named Beastie. The dog looks at you for a moment, then walks away when it realizes you have no food. British history. There's a hefty tome of Bruce family history. You feel sleepy just looking at it. That is an option. That is an option. Hello, Father. Your father remains silent for several moments, and a chill seems to pass through the library. When he finally speaks, it is in a quiet and bitter tone.
You told me you never enter this house again, boy. Why are you here?
To see you, of course, Father. Happy birthday. To discuss the inheritance, I know everything, and that is none of your concern. One, 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 one. All right. It's obvious why I'm here. I want to put all that unpleasantness behind us and wish you a happy 50th birthday.
Happy? You honestly think this is a happy day for me? Another day when I can watch my life's work crumble into nothing. Another day to see our bloodline slit its own throat. You know how to make me happy. Move back to Dunshill. Take your proper place and do your damn duty.
You have to let me live my own life. I refuse to move back here and suffer your abuse, or I will consider it if my sister is put into care. 3? Don't sound good. If I were to move back to Dunshill, I would have certain expectations.
Oh, and what expectations would those be?
Firstly, I refuse to suffer your daily insults. You will need to learn to be more decent towards me. Secondly, I want my sister to be put into care, where she belongs. I cannot live with her insanity for another day.
You would like that, wouldn't you? You obnoxious little shit. Selling out your own blood.
Those are my terms.
Well, you know what you could do with your terms. The nerve of you. You're the same snot-nosed brat you always were, boy. Obviously, I didn't give you enough discipline as a child.
If you can't be civil, I will take my leave. Oh, you beat me plenty, I remember, and perhaps you're the one who needs some discipline. Okay. 2 for 1, 1 for 3. Spank that daddy! She just lets an old man. I mean, if we want to raise a hand against father, we're even, right? Oh, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay. You should watch your words, old man. I'm not as helpless as I used to be.
Maybe not on the outside. On the inside, you're every bit as small and weak as always. Don't think for a moment that you can stand against me. You're not mad enough and you never will be. You better leave this room before I decide to revisit the past. Get out of here.
Okay, so that's our lovely chat with father. There's a soft glow. Okay. Let's go, look around upstairs a little. Your parents' room has not changed in years. It remains a frozen time capsule of a childhood you would sooner forget. You go through the wardrobe but find nothing apart from clothes and your mother's excessive collection of jewelry. From clothes, you know, okay, that's the same. It is only once you slide the top drawer open that you remember this is where your father keeps his shotgun. The shiny barrel almost seems to call out to you. Guns are certainly noisy, but effective weapons. So we know where, okay, the shotgun's right there, okay? It's just an old chair. Roxy. Fucking assert dominance!
George said if you wanted to see me, Mother. Yes. Your sister will not be returning to St. Mary this year, Aaron. Her condition has become too serious. I see. Have you nothing to say besides that, Aaron? No, nothing. It's precisely what I wanted to talk to you about. The silly feud with your sister must stop. Why do you think her condition keeps getting worse? Perhaps it's because you refuse to even acknowledge her. She killed Henry. For heaven's sake, Aaron, it was only a rat. He was my friend. I should never have allowed you to keep it in the first place. If you must blame someone, blame me.
Wow.
Will you forgive your sister? Never. Very well, Aaron. You leave me no choice. I'll have to speak to your father about this.
Well, if you keep your coat, you can hide the gun. If you don't keep your coat, you can't take the gun. These are far too many memories. Wrong to not eyes, MC. No use to you. Another of your mother's blasted plants. You look at your reflection in the mirror. Funny, you don't look much like a murderer. A shotgun. So it's not like a handgun, it's an actual long shotgun.
Mother says dinner is ready. Go away, little rat. Jennifer, what are you doing? Why do you stare at your reflection like that? Stop making fun of me. Will it be fun? I really want to know. I just wish that. What, Jennifer? What do you wish? I wish you'd go drown in the lake.
Wow.
Mother is waiting for you.
Damn. My sister's obsession with mirrors goes right back to her childhood. I never did understand why. I think this is... Oh, this is all. You step aside your former bedroom, now a simple guest room. Most of your old furniture has vanished, probably thrown on a bonfire knowing your father. There's at least one item of yours remaining in your former room. Your old fencing sword. At least this is a weapon with which you are very well practiced. Leave the sword where it is for now. It's gonna dig up old memories. The wardrobe is vacant and barren. Your bedside table has been emptied of whatever items you had left behind. Ah, the old bed. So many memories of long, sleepless nights spent wishing that your entire family would disappear. The clock is ticking. A bit too on the nose. Through the Great Wars, family. You enter the surreal atmosphere of your sister's room. Mirrors of various sizes cover the walls, creating the eerie illusion of a crowded space. So many mirrors. Ornate clocks are your sister's third love, right behind mirrors and cruelty.
Ah, I thought I smelled a rat. Have you come to see me, little rat?
How are you feeling? I'm not a rat, I'm your brother. It takes a rat to smell a rat. Break one. 3. No one's gonna know. Okay, 3 for 2, 2 for 3. So it... Alright, I'm not a rat, I'm your brother. There's no need to call me a rat. You know my name.
Yes, I remember now. Your name is... Rat. Ratty rat rat. You used to have a pet rat, didn't you? Remember what I did to him? Oh, how he squeaked. Such great pain for such a little creature. What'd you want to talk to me about, little rat?
We were trying to murder her. Don't be nice. Yeah, I see you're still collecting mirrors. Mother seems very worried about you, and I'm going to make you pay for everything. Suspicious in this case. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 5. BG. Alright, it's looking like 2. Mother says your condition has been getting worse.
My condition? What condition? I don't have a condition. You would have me sent away, don't you? Well, it won't work. It won't, I tell you. Go away. I don't want to speak to you anymore.
Your sister has gone back to studying her own reflection in the mirror, completely oblivious to anything else in the world. Your sister's too busy staring at herself in the mirror to notice you rifling through her wardrobe. You find a pair of silky undergarments with her initials embroidered on the inside. Planted in the right place, these might weave a tale of their own. A sister from Always Sunny. So we'll leave her underwear for now. You don't want to sit around in this deranged place. So many mirrors. Okay. So that was the sister. Let's go talk to the maid. See how that goes. Oh shit, I missed that. Damn it. Well, okay. Something going on with the kitchen. Got this barrel. What is this? You find nothing interesting in the drawers. On top of the cabinet, however, you see a blue box marked rat poison. Leave it where it is for now. Find nothing particularly interesting in the items of the cabinet or pantry. It's the maid's charisma. Homely. Pens are... Let's see. Or crockery. If I say cockery. Sees the maid has left a sharp kitchen knife unattended. How foolish of her. Leave it where it is for now. So we have a knife as an option as well.
Oh, hello, Mr. Aaron. Is there something I can do for you?
What time will dinner be ready? I want to ask you something about your time here. I'm sure you can do lots of things for me, lovely. Rat poison would be poetic. Stop trying to fuck her. I kind of agree with that one. okay? Alright, that's 3 ones. Let's do it. Yes, I want to know what time dinner will be served.
It won't be long, Miss Aaron. I'm preparing your father's favorite, and I want to make sure it's cooked perfectly.
Take your time, I can wait. Are you afraid of my father? And that is unacceptable. I'm hungry. Okay, are you afraid of my father? 2, 2. 1, take your time. 2, that's 3 for 2, okay. I'm gonna do it where whichever one gets 3 first is the one we're gonna do. I think that way it's a little faster. Does my father get angry if his dinner is not cooked perfectly?
Please, I do not wish to speak ill of my employer. Your father is very particular about things, that's all.
Trust me, I know his temper very well.
I should have said anything. Please, let's not talk about this anymore. I'm sorry, I must get back to work now. I'll ring the bell when dinner is ready.
Okay, so we got that. Now, there's one last person to talk to before we decide how we're going to do the murder. The groundkeeper's cupboard. George seems to have left it open. Among the various household tools, you spot a thick length of rope. Strangulation is certainly a tried and tested method of murder, so we'll leave that where it is now. This old dusty wine cellar is where your father likes to practice billiards. The laundry room is next door, and beyond that is the servants' quarters. This cube belonging to your father lies across the tables. We can't take the cube because we don't have our coat. Some amount of wine, stock to the house. No greater grief than to remember days of joy when misery is at hand. This antique map of Kansas City was a gift to your father from one of his distant cousins. An offshoot of the Bruce family set sail for the Americas almost 100 years ago and remains there to this day. That's like me in Canada. Hey, Iron, how you doing? This is The Deed. Oh, I forgot to change the games. Whoops. I did everything else right, except for that. Oh well. 2 pairs of shoes, freshly polished. The maid has left a wooden broom leaning against the wall. Broken in 2, it might be a useful weapon. Big words for now. Find nothing of interest in maid supplies. Oh, no. You find nothing in these drawers but useless cleaning supplies. Wet laundry. Wet laundry. Maid supplies, okay. A broken mirror sits upon the maid's desk. Odds are that it belongs to your sister, and the maid has been hiding it here after accidentally breaking it. A shard of glass from the mirror would be a poetic murder weapon. Leave it where it is for now. There's nothing in these drawers but clothes belonging to the maid. The maid's bed is immaculately well made. Certainly not the time for sitting around. You can't go rummaging through George's drawers while he's watching you. Oh, it's you, sir. You seem annoyed about something. I don't like the way you spoke to Sophia just now. Frankly, I'm quite shocked and disgusted, sir. I apologize if I offended you. Come on, I was only having a bit of fun, and you just want her for yourself. Two, 1, 1, 1. Okay, well, I was only making a joke, George. Nothing more. I'm sorry if you took offense. Yes, well, let it not be said that I'm too proud to accept a sincere apology. However, Sophia is the one you should be apologizing to. Perhaps you're right. I consider this matter settled. Thank you for being mad enough to apologize, sir. George doesn't look like he's willing to communicate further. Okay. So that's all the people we can talk to right now. So the question is, how do we want to murder our sister? Do we want to blame it on father? Try and pin it on mother? Pin it on the maid? Or pin it on George? Or do we want to try and make it look like a suicide? Okay. That's one option. Okay, so that's 2 for that. I spoke up too fast. The father would never hurt her. Yeah, the father just dotes on her. At least that's what it seems like. There is history, yes. And we did find these poems. Okay, so here's what we're gonna take. We're gonna take one of the poems. Yes. Identity person. Your sister, okay. It actually is an option, yes. And then I'm gonna take the mirror shard because it seems like the most obvious thing to use. So we're gonna try and do this like that. Okay, once we take this item, actually here, let's leave for now. We're gonna save our game, because I haven't saved it in a while. So once we take it, dinner will be served. I'm gonna take the mirror shard. Pressing for later. Yep. Again, a bell invites me. This time to dinner, it seems. You'll have a chance to do that after. You sit for dinner, you have conversation at dinner, then you set up the deed.
Sophia, could you come here a moment? Yes, ma'am. Pour me some wine. Yes, ma'am.
But, madame,
What is it, George?
I must protest. It has always been my duty to pour the wine at dinner.
Oh, well, I don't want to cause any trouble.
Nonsense. What does it matter, George? Stop being overly pedantic.
Okay, so he is the butler then.
But I...
Don't you think you've had enough, Mother? Do you let the staff speak to you like that? Come on, let George pour the wine, and he just wants to look down your dress. Hey, Varen, how you doing? 3? Come on, let George pour the wine. It's 2 for 3. Scan too bad I was able to see this from the beginning. 1 for 4. Okay, 3 for 3. Here we go. Just let him pour the damn wine, would you? It's his job.
You stay out of it, boy. If your mother wants the girl to pour the damn wine, then the girl will pour the damn wine.
Of course, sir. My apologies.
Interfering little rat, isn't he, Daddy?
Yes, he is. Why can't you ever keep your mouth shut, boy?
Perhaps I did speak out of turn. I apologize. Now, don't lose your temper, Father, and maybe you're the one who needs to shut his mouth. The help will be on our side. Alright, well, that's okay. You're right. I'm sorry. I must have had too much wine myself.
You better not let it happen again.
Sophia, could you come here, please? Yes, Miss Jennifer? I just want to say that this is the loveliest meal I've ever tasted. I don't know how you do it, you cunning pixie. You're too kind, miss. Of course, I will have tea and cakes for you in the drawing room as usual after dinner. Oh, you are so good to me, you sweet thing. So very, very good to me.
None for me, I'm full. I wouldn't mind some of your hot cakes. Would you two stop flirting with each other? And Sophia isn't interested in your advances, sister. Wait. 4, okay. 4. Okay, that's 2 for 4. I don't know! And there's no wrong answer, Varen, or is there? Hotcakes. 4 for 4. Okay, let's do it. Leave the girl alone, would you, sister? She's obviously not interested in your advances.
Shut up, Brat. You ruined everything. Aaron, don't accuse your sister of such things. That's quite enough. Anyway, let's not forget why we are here today. To celebrate your father's birthday. Such a very important occasion for us all. You are so dear to us, Malcolm. Happy birthday, Daddy.
Indeed. Happy birthday, Father. Let's hope it will be one to remember. Doing the deed. Now it's time to quickly plant any items of evidence you have. To do so, simply enter the desired room and select the item in your inventory. When you are ready, enter the drawing room to do the deed. Okay, now we need to figure out where to leave the poetry. Her room, okay. That's 1 vote for her room. She dies with it. Well, she's in the drawing room. She's in the drawing room now, but you enter it and you can't leave any items. So you have to pick a different room, unfortunately. Although wait, actually, you know what? I saved it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, no, you can't plant the evidence in there. So, her room, okay. That's 2 for her room, 3, okay. Her room it is. Come hither, thou sweet and flame-haired maiden. Let us play the games which have been forbidden. In dusty old rooms of this home in which I live in, come hither to me and do my sweet bidding. You find yourself unable to continue reading this poem. You're pretty sure that forbidden isn't a word and that the rest doesn't really rhyme. Do you want to plant this item of evidence in this room? Yes. You decide that your sister's wardrobe is the ideal location to plant some evidence. The police will definitely search this room thoroughly. Okay. Here we go. You see Jennifer staring out of the window ahead of you, lost in one of her strange moods. She hasn't noticed you enter the drawing room. Now is the time. Choose the murder weapon. Oh, bare hands. Broken glass. Your sister cries out in surprise as you grab her from behind, and you quickly muffle those cries with one hand before pressing the shard of broken glass against her throat. She struggles valiantly as you cut her throat open, but you manage to hold her in place until she finally goes limp. You drop her lifeless body to the ground along with the broken glass. It's time to leave this room before your deed is discovered. Oh shit. We gotta... I think if we run to our room, we'll be safe. Okay. Okay, there. Sounds like my deed has been discovered.
Oh my.
There's no blood in you, I don't know. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Inspector Winston Lewis. I understand that this is a difficult time for your family.
You're damn right it is. I want to know what you're doing wasting time in here while my daughter's killer is still out there.
Well, Mr. Bruce, we found no evidence of forced entry and nobody was seen entering or leaving the house. It would seem entirely possible, then, that the killer is in this room.
What? No.
That seems highly unlikely, Inspector. Perhaps it is. However, in order to follow protocol, I'll have to interview each one of you in turn. Mrs. Bruce, would you like to meet me in the library first?
I suppose so.
If I long enough. Key! The interview. Thank you for joining me, Mr. Bruce. I'm sure this won't take long. Before I begin, I will need to search your person. Best to get these formalities out of the way. Is this really necessary? I'm afraid so. Turn around, please. Now that that's out of the way, let's move on to the interview. Now, what happens if you leave items on your person, he will find them. Like, there's one where I took my sister's panties and forgot to plant them as evidence. He's like, why do you have these? Oh, I don't know. He totally touched your butt. As you know, I've already spoken to everyone else who was present in the house at the time of your sister's death. God, we all agree. We've now also completed our initial search of the house, but we'll get to that later. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? First of all, we'll run you through all of your activities since your arrival. The maid says that you and the butler arrived shortly after 7 o'clock, and she greeted you at the door. The maid says that you made several lewd comments in your advances toward her during your conversation. This leads me to question your character, I'm afraid. Complete rubbish, that never happened. It was only intended as a harmless joke, and of course I did. Have you seen the maid? 222, okay. It was only intended purely as a lighthearted joke. In retrospect, it may have been inappropriate. Yes, it is entirely possible to misjudge these situations, isn't it? It's worth noting that the butlers also commented on your inappropriate behavior towards the maid. Later, you went to speak to the maid again, which is curious. Why did you decide to visit the kitchen? To see when dinner would be ready? To make sure my family was treating her well? And isn't it obvious? I was pursuing the maid. Okay. I was hungry and wanted to know when dinner would be served. That makes sense. I saw the two of you spoke about your father and his temper. Yes, I wanted to make sure he wasn't abusing her. I had some concerns, but she put my mind at ease, and that was a personal conversation. Butler can corroborate. More twos? Okay. Yeah. I thought he might be making her life difficult. As it turns out, I was completely wrong. I see. You know, you had a conversation with your mother, Gloria, in the parlor. She told me you weren't unusually cordial. Something about wanting to apologize and make amends. I was being sincere. I just wanted to avoid another argument, or that was a private conversation. 112, okay. I'm guessing Dom would, okay. Yes. I wanted to clear the air between myself and my family. I see. I think it's slightly suspicious that you suddenly wanted to reconcile after all this time. No, I don't think so. Very well, then. She says you spoke briefly about your sister. Apparently you seemed quite concerned about her well-being. You were worried my sister might attempt suicide. Actually, I wasn't especially concerned, and I was more worried about my mother's mental state. Yeah, I think we want to go with 1. Yeah. My mother and I were concerned that my sister might try to take her own life, as she had attempted once before. She had she? I'll make note of that. Damn Twitch, let me comment! Where'd you see your father in the library? I understand your conversation became quite heated. My father has always had a temper. Of course he did. My father is an irritating man, or actually I thought the conversation was civil. More 11111s. Plant that seed. Okay. My father has a very short fuse. Many of our conversations go that way. Would you say he has a violent temper? Absolutely. I see. That's good to know. We discussed the prospect of you moving back to Dunshale. You said you'd only move back if your sister was placed into psychiatric care. For her own well-being, of course. I wanted her gone from this house, and I never suggested psychiatric care. I'm just gonna pick it because we're all gonna pick this one and get, yeah, 11111. I had her own best interest at heart. She belonged in care. You may be right, Mr. Bruce. However, you seem to be the only one who felt that way. Your father also told me that you threatened him with physical violence during your conversation. Okay, that's not true, he's lying. Obviously he misunderstood me, or yes, but he threatened me first. 3, 2, 1. You guys are all over the place on this one. It's 2 for 3. 3, okay. He threatened to beat me, so I threatened him back. You're in the habit of threatening old men, Mr. Bruce. My father can handle himself, trust me. I see. Let's discuss your conversation with the butler. As I understand it, he confronted you about your earlier behavior with the maid. You apologized for your actions, correct? Yes, I was sorry about my behavior, yeah. Of course, my behavior was inappropriate. Indeed. It's good for you to apologize, though. You speak to your sister before dinner? Yes, I did. I'm just picking these because they're easy options. Yes, I went to her room to see her. I see. And what did you discuss with her? Small talk. We discussed her illness and her obsessions. Nothing at all. She insulted me and I left, or I would rather not say. Don't even need us. Yeah, for those ones, no. I'm subtly hinting here. Okay, that's 1 for, okay, that's 1 for 2, 1 for 3. 2 for 3, okay. 3 for 3. All right. It was brief as most conversations I've had with my sister. She called me a rat, and not wanting to be insulted further, I soon left the room. Does it make you angry? To be honest, I was used to it from her. Let's move on to the events that took place during dinner. I understand there was an argument involving the butler. You felt he was being treated unfairly. My family always treats the servants poorly. I was just trying to stir things up, really. No, that never happened. Why'd you get the best ending? Someone has to stand up for the servants around here. My family treats them like dirt. Indeed. It was good of you to do so, Mr. Bruce. Apparently, you accuse your sister of making unwanted advances toward the maid. Well, someone needed to talk to her about it. It was a silly, regrettable accusation, and I don't recall having said that. Oh, more ones. 1, 1. Well, okay. I thought they needed to call attention to it. She was just embarrassing herself. So your sister had strong feelings for the maid. Yes, very strong feelings. But I'm not sure the maid knew anything about it. I see. Now I need to ascertain your location at the time of your sister's death. Where were you when you heard the maid scream? I was upstairs. In my old bedroom. I was in the guest bedroom. I see. Thank you.
As I said earlier, we have completed our initial search of the property. We found a poem written by your sister which appears to clearly express romantic feelings towards the maid. However, from where we found the poem, there's no reason for us to believe the maid was aware of those feelings. It is entirely possible that these feelings of unrequited love contributed to your sister's demise, though. I'm curious about the murder weapon. The broken glass seems to have come from one of your sister's mirrors. We found the rest of it in the maid's room. We've established that you've been to the servants' quarters this evening. However, we can't rule out suicide, especially given your sister's mental condition and her obsession with mirrors. It's all very interesting. I will be completely honest with you now, Mr. Bruce. While some of your behavior this evening has been peculiar, I can find no cause for any significant suspicion. While there is some suspicion regarding your father, I don't currently regard him as a serious suspect. I also think the evidence surrounding the maid might be worth another look. All that said, a lot of the evidence does seem to point towards suicide. Now, as for what happens next, you can go for now, but I would appreciate it if you did not leave town. I may have more questions for you later. I think another interview with the maid will be required also. An inquest will probably consider suicide as a very real possibility. We did it, boys. We avoided jail time. Although the inspector harbored his own suspicions about you, the evidence of suicide you had planted was quite conclusive. The inquest resulted in a clear verdict. With no other heirs remaining, your father reversed his plans to cut you out of his will. When your parents died, you inherited everything. Dunshell House was yours, along with the fortune that came with it. However, George and Sophia found themselves unable to continue serving in the place after what had happened. As you spent many long, sleepless nights wandering through the rooms of the house, you found that its emptiness was reflected within yourself. You had become hollow inside, free of everything but the nightmares that continued to haunt you. So we got it, but at what cost? Hey, Destiny, how you doing? Well, that was the first The Deed game. Yeah, the maid and George left after we blamed it on, suicide. So that's what happens when you know, get away with it. But it was a hollow victory.